Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports, and the perfect start for the Springboks, beating Scotland 18 points to 3 in what was a pretty comfortable performance in the end. Scotland didn't really arrive. They weren't terrible, but weren't at the standard I think that a lot of people expected them to be. And that's kind of sometimes been Scotland's problem, is that when they're on it, they can beat any team. I genuinely believe they can beat any team. And I was very cautious of the Scottish side and the potential threat that they were going to pose for the Boks. But they didn't really pitch up today. And I think a lot of that has to go to the Boks. I thought the Boks played very well. They squeezed them out pretty nicely. The defense was fantastic. Not concede a try. Scramble defense, rush defense was on point. Yes, there were a couple of line breaks, but at the end of the day, how do you measure a defense? Did you concede any tries? The answer was no. So from that perspective, the defense worked really, really well, and very, very happy with what I saw there. Before we sort of break the game down, tell you exactly what happened in terms of a blow-by-blow account, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So it all started with a missed Miley penalty in the 10th minute, but he did make up for that 13 minutes in after slotting that, before starting another one in the 24th minute to make it 6 points to 0. Finn Russell then halved the deficit just before half-time. So at half-time, 6-3, it was frustrating because, again, if you look at the possession, for example, and territory in the first half, we had 54% possession, 61% territory, and yet went in with just a 3-point lead. But whatever was said at half-time seemed to galvanize the team, because after Marty missed another penalty in the 43rd minute, just 3 minutes later, BITDEFENDER went over, Liebach missing the conversion. And we're sitting there saying, oh, he's missed 8 points. 5 of them he really should have gotten. And then with a penalty advantage, Martin Liebach with the filthiest no-look cross kick you'll ever see, straight into the hands of Kurt Lawrence, who finished with ease for his 12th try, and I think about his 10th game. And that kind of broke the back of Scotland. It was then a penalty that, well, Patrick Clerk then added the extras on the conversion at 18 points to 3. And that's kind of how it remained. The game ebbed and flowed. It definitely did ebb and flow. Scotland definitely had their chances, but I was really impressed with the South African scramble defense, with the way that they managed to really hold on, force errors, and just allow Scotland never to settle. So if you look at some of the stats, South Africa, 54% possession, which is not happens often. It's almost 60% territory, 59% in the end. Scoring 2 tries to none, 1 conversion to none, 2 penalties to 1. This is where it gets interesting. This is a South Africa where we've been brutalized for playing boring rugby for the last few years. 540 meters run compared to 225. Defenders beaten 20 for the Boks, 22 for Scotland. The Boks had more clean breaks, double the gain line carries, similar amount of passes, more offloads were for Scotland. But 8 turnovers, 1 from Scotland. So the Boks sometimes guilty of not protecting their ball well enough. Kicks from hand were pretty even, as were rucks. The defense, and this is interesting because you talk about a really good defensive effort, but we missed lots of tackles, 22 tackles, missed 76%. And if you lose a game, for example, if you lost that game, that's the first step people will pick out and say, well, we missed tackles, well, of course we're going to lose. But again, you've got to look at the context, and there are always going to be missed tackles with our defensive system. But, you know, whether you're stopping the momentum, whether you're stopping them scoring tries, that is, I suppose, how it is judged. And for that perspective, success. The rucks was 97%. Line success, we lost just the 1 line out, and we stole 4, which was really good. Scrums, there were 1 or 2 scrums where we weren't great, but after that, I thought the scrums were really. Just look at this no-look pass kick again; it was amazing. Penalties conceded, the discipline was very good from the Boks. Just 7 conceded compared to Scotland's 10. So not a lot of penalties in the game, to be honest, which was good to see. No cards as well, which people are getting quite worried about. So that's a nice aspect. Let's look at some individual stats, shall we? BITDEFENDER, for me, what a game. What an absolute stormer of a game. 6 carries, 7 tackles, but it was absolutely everywhere. Franco Moster as well, Mr. Workhorse, is back playing some of his best rugby. 11 tackles made, 6 carries, got around the park. I thought that Malcolm Marx was very good. I thought that Jasper Wiese had one of his best, probably his best game of the year in a Bok jersey. 10 carries, 6 tackles, beating 4 defenders, 38 meters gained. After that, Damien Willemse was pretty solid. Jesse Creel wasn't bad, defended very, very well, didn't miss a tackle. Damien Delende got on the front foot, actually. 70 meters gained, 6 defenders beaten, a couple of bad decisions. I thought he could have made better decisions. I think he'll actually have the weekend off next weekend. I think we'll see Andre Esterhuizen getting a run. But apart from that, very few players who I thought you're going to sit there and say had bad games. Arke Snyman came on, looked very good. And a word for Oxenchair and Trevor Nyakani, who came on and absolutely minced the scrums. For Scotland, there were a couple of decent sort of efforts. I thought that Jack Dempsey tried hard, 10 carries, 11 tackles for him. I thought Grant Gilchrist worked pretty hard in defence. Richie Gray was pretty active. Finn Russell tried, but he defended very well, did Finn Russell. In fact, I'd love to see how many tackles. 10 tackles he made, missing just 2. But he just couldn't really get into the game, and that was because he had a pack going backwards and had very rarely had much to deal with, and didn't really have much sort of forward momentum to work with. Job done as far as the Springbok coaching staff are concerned, and that is the main thing. So let me know what you thought about the game down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. And thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll see you soon.